Year 6 Maths Revision, Mixed Calculations and Topics, Spring 1-1. There are 10 questions. For each number, you choose either A or B or do both. Pause the video while you work it out. When you are finished, press play and I will talk through the method and give the answer. 1A, 324 times 5. 1B, 324 times 35. Okay, let's go through 1A together. 324 times 5. I'm lining up my 4 and my 5 as they are both in the ones column. 4 times 5 is 20. 0 goes here, 2 goes here. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2 above is 12. So 2 goes here, 1 goes here. 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 1 above, 16. Let's put our comma in here. So the answer is 1,620. Now, for 1B, it's 324 times 35. Now, we've just actually done 5 times 324 for 1A. So to save time, let's put the numbers in there. We need to now do 324 times 30. But before we do that, let's cross out the 5, the 2 and the 1 so we don't become confused. And we are actually multiplying 324 by 30. So we're going to put a 0 here. And that means our answer, when we write it down, is all moving 1 to the left. So if I do 3 times 4, that's 12. I put a 2 here and I put my 1 above. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And then 3 times 3 is 9. I now need to add these two numbers together. 0 add 0 is 0. 2 add 2 is 4. 7 add 6 is 13. So I put a 3 here, carry my 1. 9, 10, 11. So my answer for 1B is 11,340. 2A, 246 times 5. 2B, 246 times 75. Let's go through the answer to 2A. So 246 times 5. And actually, I need to write that vertically rather than just copy it out. So 246, line up my 5 and my 6 as they're both in the ones column. 5 times 6 is 30. 0 goes here. 3 goes here. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 3 is 23. So my 3 goes here. Carry my 2 over. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So my answer is 1,230. Now let's do 246 times 75. We've just done 246 times 5 for 2A. So I'm going to copy that over. Now, before we multiply by 70, let's cross out our 5, our 3 and our 2. We are multiplying by 70, so we need to put a 0 here, and now we're just going to say we're multiplying by 7. So 7 times 6 is 42. So I'll put my 2 here, and my 4 will go here. 7 times 4 is 28, and 28 plus 4 is 32. So I'm going to put a 2 here, carry a 3 there. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. So I now need to add these two numbers. 0 add 0 is 0. 3 add 2 is 5. 2 add 2 is 4. 7 add 1 is 8. and then that 1 just comes down there. So the answer is 18,450. Now we're going to add some fractions. We have 3a, 2/5 add 1/5, and 3b, 2/5 add 1/3. For 3a, 2/5 add 1/5, well, the denominators, the bottom number in the fraction, are the same. So that means when we don't add them together, if it's 5 and 5, the denominator stays 5, and that means we just need to add the numerators, the top numbers. So 2 add 1 is 3. So the answer to that one is 3/5. 3b is a bit more tricky. The denominators are different. We have a 5 and a 3. We cannot add fractions when the denominators are different. So underneath, I'm going to draw a new line for each one because I need to change these denominators before I can add them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write out my 5 times table and my 3 times table. I'm going to write the first 5 multiples. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And for my 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I need to now find a multiple, a common multiple of 5 and 3. So a multiple which is the same. And I can spot there that it's 15. So our new denominator is 15. Let me use a different colour so that we are not confused with all these different writings. So 15, 15. Now, whatever I do to the denominator, I need to do to the numerator. So to make 5 into 15, I timesed it by 3. So I'm going to do 2 times 3, which is 6. And to make 3 into 15, I timesed it by 5. So I'm going to times the numerator, which is 1, by 5. So now I've got 6/15 add 5/15. So the 15 is staying the same, and then 6 add 5 is 11. So the answer to that one is 11/15. 4a, 1/6 add 2/6, 4b, 2/6 add 3/12. So with 1/6 add 2/6, the denominators are the same, so that means I don't need to change them, so that's going to stay 6, and 1 add 2 is 3. So the answer there is 3/6. With 2/6 add 3/12, the denominators are different, so we are going to have to make them the same. So I'm going to draw my lines there ready. So as in the last example, I'm going to write out my 6 times table, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and then I'm going to write out my 12 times table. 12, now actually, I've just noticed something. I don't need to write out the rest of my 12 times table because 12 and 12. This is because 12 is a multiple of 6. So for this example, I can keep 3/12 the same. I only need to change this fraction. So the new denominator here is 12. And what did I do to 6 to make it into 12? I timesed it by 2. So whatever I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. So 2 times 2 is 4. So the answer to this one is 7/12. For 5a and 5b, you have to write the Roman numerals for each of those numbers. So I think you should do both sides, both 5a and 5b for this one. Okay, let's go through the answers. So in Roman numerals, 1 is an I, 2 is I, 3 is I. Now let's skip 4, and we know that 5 is V. Now 4 does not have its own Roman numeral, it is 1IV. So when a Roman numeral comes before another one, you subtract it. So that's 5 subtract 1, which is 4, and 6 is 5 add 1. 7 is VII, so 5 add 2. 8 is VIII, that's 8. Let's skip 9. 10 is X. Now, just with the example of 4, 9 is actually 10 subtract 1. So it's IX. 11 is XII. Sorry, there should only be 1 there. Let me rub that out. 11 is XI. And 12 is XII. For 6A, we are doing 5 subtract 1.3. 6B, 4 subtract 2.63. 5 subtract 1.3. So we're going to use the column method. Now, we have one decimal place here, so we need to add a decimal place to the 5. So it's going to become 5.0, and then underneath we can put 1.3, and we can now do a subtraction. So let's put our decimal place in the answer box. 0 subtract 3, we can't do that, so this is going to become 4. We're going to take 1 and make that into 10. 10 subtract 3 is 7. 4 subtract 1 is 3. So that's 3.7. Now over on this side, we have 4 subtract 2.63. So we have 2 decimal places. So we're going to do 4.00. We've just added 2 decimal places. We're going to do 2.63. Let's get our decimal point in our answer box. We can't do 0 subtract 3. Now we can't take from this column, from the tenths column, so we're going to go to the ones column. That's going to become 3. 10, cross that out, make that 9, that's going to become 10. 10 subtract 3 is 7. 9 subtract 6 is 3. And 3 subtract 2 is 1. So the answer is 1.37. 7A is 3 subtract 1.2, and 7B, 3 subtract 2.62. So 3 subtract 1.2. We have one decimal place here, 1.2. So that means I need to add a decimal place to my 3. So it becomes 3.0 subtract 1.2. We'll use the column method. Don't forget your decimal place in your answer box. 0 subtract 2, I can't do that. So I'm going to take a 1 from the ones column, and this becomes 10. 10 subtract 2 is 8, and 2 subtract 1 is 1. Let's look at 7B. 3 subtract 2.62. So there are 2 decimal places here. So that's going to become 3.00 subtract 2.62. Make sure I put a decimal place in my answer box. 0 subtract 2, I can't do that. If I go next door to take, I can't, as that's a 0. So I have to go to the ones column. That becomes 2. This becomes 10. Now I can take from there. That becomes 9. This becomes 10. 10 subtract 2 is 8. 9 subtract 6 is 3. And 2 subtract 2 is 0. So my answer is 0.3. 8A is 265 divided by 5. And 8B is 468 divided by 6. So you're going to use the bus stop method to work both of those out. Okay, let's do 265 divided by 5. So we're going to set this out in the bus stop method like this. 5 goes into 2, well it doesn't. So we carry the 2 across and that becomes 26. So 5 goes into 26 5 times because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then we have one remainder. So 5 goes into 15 3 times, so your answer is 53. Let's use the same process over on this side. So it's 468. Now, if you didn't know your 6 times table, you could write out your multiples of 6. 6 goes into 4. It does not, so I'm going to carry my 4 across. Now, 6 goes into 46 7 times because 7 times 6 is 42. And that means there is a remainder of 4 because 46 subtract 42 is 4. And 6 goes into 48 8 times. So my answer is 78. 9a is 264 divided by 2, and 9b is 4,302 divided by 9. 264 divided by 2, let's use the bus stop method. So 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. So the answer is 132. On this side, let's use the same process. Remember, you can write out your 9 times table if you were not sure. So 9 goes into 4 0 times. Now 9 goes, that means I carry the 4 over. So I need to find out how many times does 9 go into 43. Well, my 9 times table is 9, 18, 27, 36 and 45. So it's going to be 36. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 9 goes into 43 4 times. Now 43 take away 36 is 7. So I carry the 7 over and I'm looking here at 70. So 45, 54, 63, 72. So I'm going to be looking at 63, which is 7. And that's a remainder of 7. And then 9 goes into 72 8 times. So the answer is 478. 10a and 10b. And we are finding fractions of numbers. So if you remember, to find the fraction of a number, you divide the number by the denominator and times the answer by the numerator. Okay, let's do 2/5 of 15. So we're going to do 15 divided by 5, which is 3. Now we're going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. So the answer for that one is 6. For this, we're going to do 2/7 of 56. We're going to do 56 divided by 7, which is 8. And then we're going to do 8 times 2, which is 16.